What's up, people? Welcome to this episode of the Buy the Hood podcast or webcast, because I don't know how you're consuming this content. I'm your host as always. My name is Jimmy. And as we start off every show, that's with gratitude. Just want to say thank you to all the students in Buy the Hood University, as well as all the youth from the Buy the Hood ownership camp. Listen, we appreciate all the support. My bro Corey's not here with me today. He's out handling business. But with that being said, you know, our platform is designed to highlight brothers and sisters who are out doing amazing work in the community, building businesses, you know, just repping our people the right way. Listen, we got some alumni on, man, but, you know, it's not just that it's alumni, man. Listen, I got my brothers with me, man. I got Justin, who's been on here before, as well as my brother, Coach Carter, is here, but not as individuals, man. They on here as the Cashflow Bros, man.
Cashflow Bros.
Yeah, man, we're going to talk about it, man. We got these two real estate titans in the city of Philadelphia who have decided to partner together to bring the community education and just continue to grow their businesses. But they're doing it. This is about collaboration over competition, man. So we're going to talk about it, man. What's up, y'all?
What's up, Jim?
Yo, what's good? What's good? Thanks for having me. The honorary number 3 of Buy the Hood.
Listen, man, you definitely have been on here more than anybody. You got Kamari beat now because you've been on here more than anybody else, bro. So you definitely the third member, man. But listen, this is about y'all partnership, man. This is exciting for me, man, because both of you guys are, are big time in Philadelphia as it pertains to real estate investing, education, you know what I mean? Even super agents, you know what I mean? Y'all did the agent thing too, but now you guys are working together as a partnership known as the Cashflow Bros. So give me a little bit of origin. It's like a comic book. Give me your origin story of the Cashflow Bros. How the super team come together.
All right, so let me start. So without going all the way back, we worked together at a real estate office, right? We were actually on the same team for a short period of time. We connected before then, but that was our first business together, right? And then we started to wholesale some houses a little bit. We bought and sold a few houses together as far as on the flip side. And that's how our business arrangement really just got started, right? And then, as we move into different spaces, Justin is, definitely one of the sharpest hard workers I know. His integrity speaks for itself. So I figure we might be able to do some other ventures. And as you know, I'm all about collaboration. I would rather work for the whole versus work for the individual. Right. And so we partnered up on that. So Justin had some things going on. Justin, you could talk about the things you had going on and how we linked up on that side.
Yeah. So I had, for those who don't know me, name's Justin. IG handle is at JES Capital Investments. So my background is one of an investor. Also have a general contracting company. But I was having basically like day events. So prior to the pandemic, I was doing something called Day with Jays, where I would take people out into the field with me to see different properties and different stages of the rehab process, right? And then when the pandemic hit, I really pretty much took that online. And to be honest with you, doing mentorship coupled with my other business ventures, it can be a lot on one person. So when I know Malik, he was doing his thing as well, getting ready to launch his mentorship platform, because we're all about trying to empower and educate the masses on the importance of home ownership and investing, right? So instead of competing against one another, with friends, we've made money together in the past with real estate ventures, why not combine our forces together to be able to make a greater impact on other people's lives? So we thought of a name, what makes sense, and it was really came up with the Cashflow Bros, and it has really a dual meaning, right? So cash flow, when you think about cash flow, you're thinking about assets that produce cash flow. But we're not just going to stop at real estate, right? Real estate is what has made us, very well off and set us financially free. But when you think of cash flow could be an income producing business. That's cash flow. Obviously, cash flow can be rental properties, which produce rental income. Cash flow can also be paper assets. You have stocks, you have mutual funds, you have options. So it's really a combination of all those things, hence the word cash flow. And then Bros is just the play on our relationship, right? Me and Malik are bros, right? So the Cashflow Bros. So
right. I gotta know this. Who came up with the name? The name is fire though. Which one of y'all came up with the name?
I'm gonna give Malik credit for that. I'm gonna give Malik.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Listen, the idea guy, man.
Listen, here's the thing, right? I was set on another name. We actually selected another name, and we were going to go logo design, everything. And Justin was like, "Nah, we're gonna let's scrap that." Right. And
I mean, is there something you may go back to, or you want to share that name? Let's see how bad it is. Is it
no,
like
it's not a bad name. It was
share that name though.
All right, you still might use that in the future. Okay.
Yeah, right. But
you know how you ask a rapper, like, what's your original name? And it's always something terrible. So it's not
a good name, but the name pigeonholed us, right? It was real estate based, right?
Okay.
And it pigeonholed us. And the Cashflow Bros, we can really go everywhere. And I kind of felt that because my name, Instagram, Real Estate Coach Carter, I feel pigeonholed, right? And so I thought about changing my name for a minute, but I'm like, I've been going for so long, like I'm gonna just rock. I'm not gonna change it. I'm gonna just rock out Real Estate Coach Carter. But Cashflow Bros encompasses everything.
Yeah, that's definitely a dope name. I was wondering whether the idea guy came up with it. Let me tell you something, and I'm pretty sure Justin, you know this because it's your partner, but Malik is the idea guy. He always got these wild ideas.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like Malik will call me like, "Yo, what if we build houses on Mars?" And I'm like, "What?"
I call him the evil genius, man.
Yeah.
He like Pinky. What's that TV show? Pinky
the Brain. Yeah, that's Malik. Yeah.
Listen, I promise you, it's always something. It's always something cooking. And the thing is, I like to try to make an impact. Some stuff is just financial. Some stuff is just fun. But for the most part, I think like, okay, how can I make this idea like the most impactful? And not only that, how can I make this idea bigger than what it actually is and build like what it could be? You know, I get to play Sim City in my head all the time. I don't read the game.
No doubt. So what's the response been? I know you guys have been out here working. You've had webinars. You know, I saw you guys took people out in the street and everything. What's been the response of the Cashflow Bros?
It's been received very well, Jim. I know me and Malik, we attended an event in Atlanta. I think that was about 2 months ago in August. So it's funny. People, every time we go around with our merch, right? People are like, "Hey, can I get a shirt? Can I get a shirt?" You know, then Malik just came out with this right here. He designed this. But it's been received very well from our merch. We're not even selling our merch. We're probably thinking about that in the near future, offering that to the masses. But it just makes sense. And I think the name and the mission resonates with a lot of people, right? And I understand, Malik understands that we're fighting the conditioning of the minds of many people, right? A lot of us have been taught that, hey, we have to work until, we're 65, 67 years old, until retirement age, for that pension or that retirement account that we hope that is set up for us, 40, 50 years later, right? So we are trying to change the narrative and trying to change people's mind to show you that there are other routes to build wealth, right? So while you're on that journey, if you decide to be gainfully employed, right, there are other ways and other methods to also add additional cash flow, additional passive income to your bottom line. But the mission, it's been received very well, man. We're just getting started, so we're excited.
Yeah, listen, the name is everywhere we go. Cashflow Bros. The streets loving the name. They loving us working together. The streets definitely here for it. Yeah,
man, because it's important to see this happen. That's why I was excited to have you guys on. I love what both of you guys do, but working together is even better, man. Because outside of the lives you're going to change with the information, just people being able to see two brothers work together like that is very, very powerful. You know what I mean? So I love this. So what are some of the things you guys are putting together or coming up with as the Cashflow Bros? What are some of your programs or things that you're rolling out?
All right, so coming up, so I'll tell you this, right? Just coming up, we have a if you just tap into Cashflow waitlist, right? What we do every week, right? We do a free webinar explaining what we do and how we do it. Every week we do that, right? So tap into www.cashflowwaitlist.com. We have that coming up. Also coming up in December, we are doing our second and it may be our last property tour. Where last time we were able to take, what was it, like 20 something people out into the field, and we took them to 4 different properties. We showed them properties from a total shell to a rough end, which is where the plumbing, electric, everything's installed, and then to almost finished product houses, to show people the entire process of how to renovate a property. And then the cool thing after that, we went to an undisclosed location. We had a great meal, but we were able to do some Q&A and actually break down how to hire contractors, how to not get burnt by contractors, how to find properties, how to evaluate properties. I mean, we gave them like so much information, and people were actually like, one of them, one of our guys, Pun, he actually went on Saturday and made $3,600 on Wednesday from the information that we shared with him.
Wow.
Took the tips, and he executed immediately. He came back into the group and was like, yeah, I made $3,600 in just those 3 days, right? And so we're giving actionable information in bite-sized forms, right? And the main thing we want is for people to, what you know about me, Jim, is I've never told anybody to be a real estate mogul, right? Justin and I, we just want to be the mentors that we wish we had when we got started, right?
Mm-hmm.
I went through the foreclosures. I went through almost bankruptcy. I went through the stress. I went through the bad times. I went through all of this stuff because I didn't have anybody to help me go through it. Not know how to finance properties, trying to do all we can. Like all these things we had. And so we just really try to be the mentors that we wish we had, right? And like I said, I don't want them to be, if people may be a mogul, then go ahead and be a mogul, right? But ultimately, we wanted you to learn this business because once you know this space, your job is less stressful once you don't need it.
Man,
right?
it's a bar. It's so true. It's so true.
Yeah. So we're saying we're not saying quit your job. We're just saying don't need your job. That's it.
I think that message needs to be put out there more, right? And the reason I say that is because of this, right? So everybody, I mean, if you want to get 6,000 doors, that's fine. But you add 1 or 2 rental properties to what you're doing in life, it changes your entire life. Just everything. Literally, if you get 2 rental properties, 2, 3 rental properties, that can change your entire life. And not enough people talk about that because everybody wants to, to sell the dream of having 6,000 rentals and flying. But I'm like, the average person get 2 to 3 rental properties. That changes your entire life.
You know what, Jim? It's funny. I just posted something on my IG page. A quick, 12-second clip of my journey, right? And when you think about my first rental property was actually my primary residence, where I turned that into an Airbnb.
Okay.
So what I did when I first started was I would literally rent my whole entire house out, and then I would either stay with friends. There were times I even slept on my air mattress in the properties that I was renovating, right? These are some things, and I just actually posted it today on my page just as receipts, right? Because it's one thing to do it, but you need to back it up sometimes with documentation, right? So my first exposure to that additional money, that cash flow, was I was making anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 each and every month, right? So my mortgage was about $800, right? So now I can't remember the last time I literally paid a mortgage. It's been, honestly, true story. It's been since 2012 since I physically paid a mortgage, right? Because what me and Malik are on a mission to show people, there's 2 types of income, right? You have active income. Active income is we're all hustling. Active income is my construction business. I love what I do, so it's not work, but it's still active income. I'm still, for me to make money, I'm going out there to rehab a property, other clients' homes. That's my active income. Your 9-to-5 job is your active income, right? See, then you have something we call passive income, right? That's something like the Airbnb. That's the rental properties, right? That's invested in stocks. You deploy the capital one time, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're getting paid over and over and over again. So my aha moment was like, man, I'm getting $1,000, $2,000 a month. My bills are only $800 on this property. I have that surplus sometimes $1,200. I'm like, wow, what if I could do this 3 more times? Mm-hmm. Right? So I tell people all the time, just like Malik said, like we want to start people off small because we know we can remove that mortgage, that car note, right? So imagine you work in a 40-hour, 50-hour week and you don't need to touch your paycheck to pay your mortgage or your car note or take your loved one out to dinner or to travel. Life gets a lot easier. And it does not take 6,000 doors to accomplish that.
Exactly.
You can accomplish that, people, with very few properties. Now, if you're ambitious, that I know a lot of you are, and I know once you get a taste of that passive income, it's game over.
Yeah, because you're not going to start. That's the secret to it. You know, you get 2 or 3, your life will change. You like, why not get 3 more?
Yeah, and we know that. But yeah, it's game over. It's like, man, when I start getting that Airbnb money, I'm like, whoa, it's like that. I need more.
And that's the power of like what you guys are teaching, because even with the cash flow, right? You got a cash flow, always got a cash flow. But think about it's like a cheat code. You're cash flowing, but also you're getting equity every month. Someone is actually paying for your equity and giving you cash every month. It's almost unfair.
Listen, the transaction that really changed everything for me, Jim, is my first house I lived in with my wife, right? We bought it. Nobody wanted that property. It was on the market for $77,000. We bought it for $63,000. Put some elbow grease in it. A year and some change later, refinanced it for $117,000. Right? That was the first time I ever touched $50,000 liquid. I never had it before all at one time, and it was a refinance, but I got it, and I didn't go out and splurge. I bought another house, right? But that house I bought, I only paid $30,000 for it. Put $5,000 into it, wasn't that bad, and my tenant was paying me $1,250, right? My mortgage was only $675.
Cash flow,
right? And so now that my tenant is paying for that house, is paying for my house, paying all my bills, and that gave me breathing room. That gave me time to be creative. It's like if you're out here hustling, bustling every day, then you don't have time to exercise your genius.
Yeah.
Right. You might have a passion project. You might have $1 million idea that you can't execute because you check the check. So even putting an extra 2-3 hours a night in, you can do it. But what if you could really focus? Your brain is clear, your mind is clear. You know your bills are getting paid. You could think better. It just like having that extra passive income open up so much more opportunities than just making money.
This is so true. And to my part of my story is my original home was the same thing. I used my primary residence as a bank, basically. I use it as a bank to go buy another one and then continue that. And I know Justin mentioned that he does construction too. He kind of downplays it, but as you can see with them lights behind him, he knows he does his thing, man. Because I'm on his wait list right now, waiting to get some construction done. But so you guys are putting this comprehensive program together, and I heard you mention a group. So you people who actually join with the Cashflow Bros get access to this private group too.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So you got it. I got some water.
Yeah. So with our private Facebook group, so a couple of things. So me and Malik, we do a monthly training. That's one thing that we do. We do a monthly training each and every month. We also have additional option where you can have a course. It's a self-paced course because we understand people have different learning styles, right? Some people are more hands-on, hence the reason why we make ourselves available for 4 nights every single month to pour in more, and teach people more so hands-on, right? Then we have the self-paced course where you can learn at your own pace. It's a lot of information. And it teaches you different aspects about the real estate industry, right? With that, you will have access to our private Facebook group where you're going to have ongoing support and you're going to be around other like-minded investors. So, because we understand if we can foster a platform and a community of other like-minded people, because sometimes you understand, guys, when you're climbing up that ladder of success, right? Sometimes it may get lonely, right? You may not be doing the same the things that you used to do in the past, right? So I think it's very important when me and Malik thought this out is to foster a good community of other like-minded people where you can ask questions, ongoing support, and you ultimately build in just a good community, a good culture. So this is what happened in our private Facebook group.
And that's powerful because over time, what you guys will start doing deals together right within the group, right?
And we already are. We have an opportunity right now where one of our group members is going to have an opportunity to flip a property that someone else bought in, right? So that's already happened within the group. I mean, listen,
that's value right there. Being into a private community like that is it's invaluable.
Right, and you get the experience, right? Some other mentees, one of our mentees, man, he's only 27, right? He's already made over $100,000 this year and has more on the table at 27, right?
Man,
and the thing is, he didn't have to quit his job. He still has 9 to 5, but he's using the training that we gave him to make an extra $100,000 on the side.
That's amazing.
And has more stuff coming.
That's life-changing right there. That's life-changing stuff, man. That's life-changing stuff, man.
And another mentee right now just closed on his property 2 weeks ago, and he's in the midst of a rehab. So he's already in the roughing phase already on his rehab. So he stands to make $70,000+ dollars.
Now, just trying to think what kind of questions folks will have that are watching this, because our viewership is from all over, or listenership. Can anybody participate in this? So if I'm not in the Philadelphia area, if I'm in, LA or Detroit or somewhere, can I still take this information? Is it applicable everywhere?
So right, it's applicable anywhere in the U.S. You can get it from anywhere, but these principles work in the United States, anywhere in the U.S. Right? But when we teach about building a property, you can use that anywhere in the world, right? As far as the systems, the only difference is depending on what region you're in. Maybe you don't use sheetrock, right? You might use concrete, or you might use stone, or you might use whatever else. But as far as the plumbing, HVAC, these are the same pretty much around the world. Different current, but the wiring is still the same. So these things you can, once you know how to build a house here, you can do it anywhere, right? So you can use it all over the world. That's one thing. The property tour that we do, our second and last one probably, you have to be here, but we're thinking about adding a virtual. I don't know. We're going to see how that pans out. But everything else you can do it online. And once again, and that goes. We have the 4-day live training that people get, And Justin already went over the course, the actual digital course, which is self-paced. But like I said, the 4-day live training, like we really want to drill into you. Right, we really want you to be successful. So we make sure that by the end of that live training, that you know how to evaluate a property, how to, the most important part of this business is finding the deal, right? You can make a mistake on anything else, but how to find a deal and get it priced right. You could hire a bad contractor, you could do a lot of things incorrectly, but as long as you bought the deal right, you could still make money on it.
This
right.
is true.
And so we show people everything that we actually do. Right. We're not trying to sugarcoat anything. Like we give them like the raw to real, that 4-day training. And then they also, like I said, the self-pays. And then we do hold their hand. They do get access to us and other people that are different levels of success. They also get access to them in the private Facebook group.
That's real valuable. So what is the future for the Cashflow Board? You told me what you guys are working on now. What are some of the things that you're thinking about for the future that you maybe have talked about, or just ideas you have with this brand of the Cashflow Bros? What are some of the things you're trying to do?
Yeah, I take that, Malik. So we're starting it off with the real estate, but we want to introduce our students to other things that can generate revenue, such as stocks, options. Me and Malik, we do invest our money elsewhere outside of real estate. So we're going to be introduced in that to also our community as well, in terms of what stocks and options, because that's just a whole nother animal and a whole nother way to make money. In addition, we're going to be bringing in other experts, right, to help pour in, because, we're experts at real estate, but, we have individuals like you, Jim, and other individuals that we know that are experts in that particular industry, craft, whether it's crypto, stocks, right, life insurance. So we want to introduce our community to other ways to generate income, right? Because that's what it's all about: generating revenue and continue to generate passive income streams.
That's fire. That's fire.
Yeah. So I will say this, man. Yeah. And a lot of the things that I learned from you, I definitely, give you tons of credit for what you taught me about the real estate. Well, about the investing space. I definitely wouldn't be as far along in my journey without your tutelage. So
Hey, thank you, man.
Listen, hey, I run the wheel every week. And these are some of these are some of the strategies that we're going to talk about, right? But then when I think about it, right, when you think about combining the two, right, real estate and stock, that is like the money really gets to be insane. Like when you think about people investing in stock, a lot of times they have to go out and work for that bread or whatever, get it. But now, if you're getting a passive income from your rental, right, and then able to use that rental to invest in other things, like it really just gets out of hand. And even if you're not even a genius, don't be a genius. Don't be a genius, right? So what I did, for those that don't know, I used to work in public housing and very violent, but I did see some roses grew from the concrete. And I would think like, okay, what do these people have to do to get out of these circumstances and so they can stop risking their life or home invasions and shootings and selling drugs, right? And so I came up with the original concept was, we've expanded so far from here, we've added so much stuff, but the original concept is just first of all, buy a multifamily, right? So if you make at least $30,000, you can do this strategy, right? Which is, first of all, just buy a multifamily house, one, right? Try to do that every year. If you start out like you're 20 years old, by the time you're 40 or 41-ish, right, then you'll have 40 doors if you just bought duplexes, right? And if you're only making $500 per door, you're making like, let's say about $10,000 a month. It's like $500 per building, right? 20 buildings, you make $10,000 passive per month. But if you just take one of those units and just invest in only the S&P and nothing else at an average in like 8%, then now you're 41 years old, $10,000 a month, and then you're going to have little less than $500,000 liquid. And I didn't say anything about adding any additional bread from any multiple units. I didn't say to quit your job. I didn't say anything about your 401k, but you're 41 years old, like legit millionaire from starting with 30,000, nothing about raises. To start, and all you have to do is get a job and be consistent and make about 30 grand a month. And by the time you're 40, you can pretty much never work again. If you just act, and that's not including everything that you teach, all the other ways that we invest. That's just buy one multifamily a year, buy $500 a month, and follow the S&P. Just those two things, and you can legit be a multi-millionaire in 20 years.
That's all about discipline, man. And
Easy
you're right.
Life.
Yeah, you're right.
How easy would your life be, Jim? Or not you, because I know you've been balling for a long time, right? How easy would other people?
Broke, baby. I'm broke, baby.
How easy would other people's lives be? Let me ask you this: if somebody made another $2,000 a month, would they have to go and hit that lick? Would they have to go in that home invasion? Would they have to sell that pack? I'm saying with an extra $500, even $500 a week. I'm saying what they have
the powerful thing about that is the next generation then gets to start there, right? They're not starting from zero. They're starting from 40 doors and $500,000 in a brokerage account. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the power.
And they can start there, man. And so, when I learned it, man, listen, COVID was great. I didn't learn. I was 100% real estate, right, prior to COVID. And then COVID, I was like, damn, let me learn. Let me get out here and learn. And the thing is, because I learned, people around me learned, Justin ran the bag up. And so now his daughter is going to be way better. She's already going to be good. Now she's going to be a spoiled brat. I don't know how he's going to handle it. I don't know how he's going to handle his daughter when she turns 16.
But something you said is interesting, right? And the one thing I know about both of you gentlemen is you guys don't mind spending on learning stuff yourself, right? You know what I mean? It's funny. I was talking to Lorenzo. Shout out to Lorenzo Jackson Rentelhome, but he told me how many. I thought I was bad, and I thought you were a course junkie, but he's right up there with us, Malik. He was like, "Oh, I got that. Oh, I got that." Right. But the thing is, what I notice is people that are willing to invest in themselves like that in their business, in his business, your business, Justin's business. You guys are doing numbers because you don't mind investing in education. I want you guys to speak about that though, because I think that's important, you know, because sometimes people say, man, I can just go to Google and do this, or go to YouTube and do this, and they don't understand.
Well, listen, as somebody, I don't know, Justin, I don't just even buy courses like that, but I don't mind spending the money. And
but Justin invests in himself though. Like I what I mean by that is just overall like learning to invest in yourself. The same way we invest in the market.
Right. So I'll say this, man. This is a fact. I've probably 100x'd, like legit 100x'd what I spent on these courses. And I'm not exaggerating. Like the money that I spent on these courses so far, I've 100x'd that in a little over a year period of time. And so the seed was planted. My very first course I bought, shout out to Ty Billy, that was the very first course that I bought. It was $40. If that course was more than $40, it was $100, I probably wouldn't have bought it. But because it was at a reasonable price, I was like, oh, there's value here for 40. Then I was able to spend on the next thing, right? I bought the By the Hood stuff. I bought the other programs, and everybody, I don't regret any of it, right? Because I took a little piece of all this stuff, and they all created the investor that I am today, and I legit 100x what I invested. So I have no problem in investing and taking the shortcut. Could I learn all this stuff a different way? Yes. Can I get it all in these bite-sized portions that I can knock it out in a few days and actually execute? No. Right? I've made way more money off the few $1,000s I spent on courses in this past year. I've paid way more money than my $70,000 college degree.
Man,
fact.
That's an absolute fact, man. Like my loans for school didn't make me anything near the investment I made, just like learning certain skills within the investment space. You know what I mean? I know Justin has a whole thing about that, like what college never told him. I know.
I can go on right there about that today. I ain't going to rant about that, but I tell people all the time, right? It's different when you think about the whole educational system, right? They're teaching you a broad spectrum of things that really are not applicable in the real world, right? It's much better to perfect a skill set. And what me and Malik and Jim and others are teaching is not nothing new. It's not nothing new, right? It's true and tested, right? Stocks have been around. Real estate has been around. But people will still question if they should learn this skill set. Yes, you could. Yes, you should, right? There's a reason why millionaires are being made with real estate, because it's really, you don't really got to be that bright. You don't got to be that smart of a person to do real estate. And I'm gonna give you guys something really to think about. What game have we all played as children, right? Monopoly, right? What was the game of Monopoly? You had the greenhouses, and you want to accumulate the greenhouses and eventually trade the greenhouses in and get the big red house, which would be the hotel, right? So the ages of Monopoly, I think it's like 3 to 8, like, you know, so a 3 or 8-year-old can learn the game of real estate. So of course, an adult can learn this game, right? It's about finding ugly houses on the best block, improving those properties, either selling them for a profit, or in our case, what we like to do, hold them for that passive rental income. And the sooner people truly wake up and get out their own way. See, the issue, Jim, is a lot of people are in their own way, right? A lot of people let fear paralyze them, right? They talk about, I should have, could have, would have, and they look up 10 years and they're still saying, I should have, could have, would have, right? There's real estate all around us. Everybody watching us is probably living in some type of real estate, right? Either you're renting or you're a homeowner. You're either one or the two. Even if you're homeless, you're still on somebody's real estate,
That's true too. Yeah.
So it's not going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
This is why people are making millions of dollars
Yeah.
doing real estate, because it's all around and it's a necessity. People need a roof over their head and a place to live. So we all implore you guys to definitely take action and to take this serious, man. Because I mean, it mind boggles me. And I think the college educational system did an excellent job in terms of showing their value. Because for people to pay, $40,000-$50,000 a semester is just, man. I think
it's crazy, right?
Class guys.
Yeah,
we got
right.
Yeah,
so then let me say this real fast, Jim. So if anyone to go to the cashflowwaitlist.com, so we have that free event. Like we show you all of these, right? But not only how to buy, we talk about where to buy, when to buy, why to buy. Why to buy is more important than any other thing. Like, why are you buying this property right now? I'm just going to go. I know it's a short journey. I'm going to just take a quick journey, right? I'm 43 years old, and the year of like 1991, 92, I was in 8th grade, right? At that time period in this world, there were 5 billion people, right? I think it was not that long ago. We just crossed over 7 billion people. By 2045, there's going to be 9 billion people in the world. So the population doubled from the time I'm in 8th grade, like 14 years old, right? The population doubled. And most people in the world are going to live in, they're calling them super cities, the Singapore, the New York, the Hong Kong, these cities that have 10, 15, 20 million people. The majority of the world going to live in them, right? And what they're going to look like, if anybody been to Johannesburg, what you'll see is that's going to be the formula for the rest of the world, where the inner cities are for the wealthy, the suburbs are for the less well-off, people that are serve the wealthy people, and then the further out, they call that the exurbs, right? Those are more wealthy people, right? So if you know that there's 2 billion more people coming to this planet and they are going to need somewhere to stay, why don't you get ahead of that? And they're all going to stay in the cities, right? What is the property value going to be when we just add another 50,000 people to Philadelphia? We already have a shortage of housing.
We absolutely are. I'm going to say we already have a shortage. Yes.
We already have a shortage of housing. And so, listen, if in your city, whatever city you're in, you see all that construction going on, it's not enough.
Yep.
Not enough. So you don't have to worry about, the market's going to crash. The market might dip some, but you know what's going to happen? People going to keep having sex. Why is that important? Because babies come from sex. That's important. Babies come from sex. They need somewhere to live eventually.
Yeah.
Right? And so if you know for a fact that we're going to continue to need housing, why isn't this the space? We all taught that the basic human needs, food, clothing, shelter. I chose shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Jim, I'm also in that other thing. That's my food play.
I know your food investment too. I ran
the food play, right? But like I'm just saying, like population is important. And guys, let me ask you this, Jim. Let me ask you this. This is the direct question to you, right? What would happen to Apple stock with another billion people on the planet?
It's going to go up. Like, I mean, it's more people to serve. It's more people to serve. And that's the thing. Like the thing about and Justin said it too, it's not really a secret. Right. I tell people, listen, go look at the Forbes magazine for the last 20 years, right? And the wealthiest people in the world own companies and land. That's it. I mean, it's really simple. So if this has been happening for decades, you can just literally go back and you can go online and look at all the Forbes magazines. They own company and they own land, or a combination of both.
Like,
that's what they do.
Even to the formation of this country, the only people that could vote were landowners.
This is true.
You had to be a white landowner. You could be white. White wasn't good enough. You had to be a white landowner to vote.
A white landowner, yeah. And if you look at our people, you look at the people that we put into Congress and the Senate, where do they make their money at? Land, and they own companies, right? So I mean, It's like right in front of us, but it's a matter of taking action. Like Justin said, you got to take action. So I'm going to make sure you guys have access to the Cashflow Bros. I'm going to put their websites, both of their IGs, everything they got going on within the description box. Make sure you tap in. Listen, like I believe in these brothers so much that what we're doing at By the Hood is we're going to add like what they teach as part of our curriculum, because I mean, these are real estate masters. So real estate has to be a part of your portfolio, right? I don't care how it has to be a part of your portfolio. So these are the people that you want to tap in with. So I definitely want to make sure I put the link in the description, because people ask all the time, where's the real estate course? I'm like, well, I didn't really create one yet, but I don't have to now, right? I got my brothers right here who I trust and believe in. So we're running with their program because I know the value that they can add to the marketplace, and they have results. They got receipts, like Justin said. So make sure you tap in, man. And Cashflow Waitlist, right? Is that the website?
Cashflow Waitlist.
Cashflow Waitlist, yeah. And also check them out on IG. Check out the individual pages as well as their, collaborative page, and see everything they got going on, man. Anything you want to leave the people before we get out of here, y'all?
Listen, I just wanted to just say that consistency is key. You're not going to be Rick Ross overnight. Rick Ross was, writing for Trina back in the Blue Streak soundtrack, right? So just understand it takes time. Build. Don't worry about being wealthy overnight. Building wealth over time, and you still get wealth. Listen, our catchphrase is passive income makes massive income, right? Just keep adding on that passive income. That's it.
When that t-shirt come out?
We tried to design it. Design didn't come out right, but it's coming up.
All right, got you. Justin, how about you, good brother?
Yeah, so my thing would be, do not let fear paralyze you and make you become stagnant, right? So far too many people can have one bad experience, whether it's in real estate, business, and that can get them out the game for years, because that fear, they let that one bad experience of failure, right, hurt them from chasing their dreams, whatever that is in life, right? So you cannot let fear paralyze you, because on the other side of fear is the life that we all desire and truly deserve. So get out your own way, and you have to overcome that fear. You have to do it for not only yourself, but you also got to do it for those coming behind you. If you have kids, nieces, nephews, right? Do not let fear paralyze you.
Man, that's powerful, man. Listen, man, first of all, man, I appreciate you, brothers. I'm proud of what y'all doing together, man. This is amazing. Like I said, everybody check them out. Check out their IG. Go to the Cashflow Bros waitlist and make sure you sign up there to stay tapped in. But this is the program you need. You know what I mean? You got to add real estate to your portfolio, but it's even beyond that, right? It's about cash flow, and you get access to the other private community. You can be in as many private communities as you want to, but when you start getting these private communities and you guys are talking about investing, you're talking about stocks, you're talking about real estate, you're talking about cash flow. That's who. But the thing about it is, we always talk about like watch your circle around you, but that includes online. That's just not in real life. That's online too. You know what I mean? Like, so, be in these kind of communities, man. But listen, man, I appreciate you, brothers, as always. To our audience out there, please tap in. And as we always say, it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much you keep. Game elevates, and we'll see you guys in our next episode. Peace.